of months will be familiar with our pregnancy and childbirth series. We've had some great feedback, thank you, with many of you requesting particular stories, including one on premature babies. Well, we actually screened a story last year about preemies, so here it is again for you. Actually, between 8 and 10% of babies are born early, some as early as 23 weeks gestation. Understandably, the stresses on their parents are huge, as Colleen Cole and her husband discovered when their little daughter Stacey arrived 10 weeks early.
It's just a bad dream, really. It's very hard to describe what's going on. The doctors keep coming in, they suddenly put me on steroids, and we're talking about having a cesarean, that the baby would be early, and I'm thinking, this can't be happening. This just isn't going to happen.
But happen it does. And many of New Zealand's premature babies begin life here at National Women's Hospital. Causes of premature deliveries include high maternal blood pressure, toxemia or kidney failure. But there are a lot that are unexplained, the stuff of Nobel Prize-winning research. Survival rates have improved dramatically, with better ventilation techniques and drugs to strengthen a prem baby's lung elasticity. However, nothing prepares the parents for the shock of a sudden early arrival.
How are you doing there, Kesa? Want your meal?
People have to remember that when babies are born premature, the parents' expectation has always been for a healthy term baby, and that they may have planned to get everything ready both emotionally and physically in the last 3 months. So if the baby's born before that, say at 28 weeks gestation, not only are they not prepared physically, but they're also not emotionally prepared for the tiny baby that they see when they first see the baby. So there's a sort of a grief process that parents sometimes have to go through to accommodate the fact that they now no longer have a big, robust term baby, and that their baby looks small and fragile.
I thought they were totally overreacting. I thought, I've got 10 weeks to go, you know, I haven't finished work, I haven't got the baby's room ready, haven't done any shopping, just not ready. These guys just don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, I thought we'd be going home after the weekend, and it was just a bad dream.
Little Stacey Cole was delivered by caesarean due to her mum's high blood pressure.
I was pretty heavily sedated, and when I first saw her in the incubator, I thought she was the ugliest thing I'd ever seen, and she certainly wasn't mine. And there was no connection, just this baby lying there in an incubator. Yeah, it wasn't very nice. And then you don't, because you can't get to hold them or touch them, or you can touch them, but you can't hold her. I didn't hold her till she was 5 days old. But that was excellent, yeah.
So how does that interfere with the whole bonding thing? Do you feel like you missed out a bit, or not?
I had a fairly hard time after the Caesar, so I was more worried, you know, getting over the Caesar myself and trying to get up and get out of bed, and I think my husband spent more time bonding with her than I did at the start, and then of course progressively I went down and spent more time with her, and it happens eventually. I think the best time is when you can get her out and hold her, then it starts, yeah.
First 24 to 48 hours of a very prem baby's life, we still adopt an approach of minimal handling. And that is every little thing you do, like changing a nappy or wiping a baby's face, can cause changes of blood pressure which might be dangerous. But after that first 48-hour period, when the baby's more stable, then we like to encourage parents to touch their baby and to start helping with the little things they can do, like feeding, assisting with tube feeding, changing nappies, and just helping the nurse around the cot side.
Do preemies eventually catch up?
Most prem babies do. Many parents worry about the mental development and the brain growth and development of their babies who've been born prem. And there are a lot of horror stories about that. I think what people need to know is that the majority of our babies who are born prem actually develop normally and have normal intelligence and normal neurological abilities.
And Stacey, the wee girl you saw in that story with her mum Colleen, is now 17 months old and thriving. She's the love of her parents' life, as you can imagine. And someone else who knows firsthand what it's like to have a prem baby is Stephen McIver. Now, you probably remember Stephen from our father's story, which screened a couple of months ago. And look who you have here. Who is this?
Well, Jude, this is our little angel, Mia Grace McIver, born on the 30th of June, 5 weeks early.
Wow, so how was that?
Yeah, interesting. 3:15 on the... She was born on a Wednesday, 3:15 on Monday morning. Maria wakes up and goes, uh-oh, things are happening. We rang the midwife at 10, and she said, you're going to have a baby today. Not. And we had the baby on the Wednesday morning at 8:36 at National Women's, so...
So she wasn't really that keen to come?
No, I don't know why, but she's here now, and she's just a little angel.
She's gorgeous, isn't she?
Isn't she just?
Yes, she is.
But little girls are when you dress them in pink. Yeah, no, she's special.
Tell me about the Prem experience. What was that like?
Well, I can't speak because I wasn't giving birth to the baby, but from my perspective, it was all quite relaxed. We had very good specialists, Marion Carter, our specialist, and Tony Vale, and she came out with the salad service, a little bit of help from them, and Frank Sinatra playing in the background.
Not live, I presume. No, obviously not.
Obviously not live.
These days.
And it was quite calming. It was quite calming. In fact, in many ways, it was a little underwhelming, but now she's just perfect.
Oh. And did you take her home quite soon if she was 5 weeks prep?
About 4 days afterwards.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, National Women's and our staff at Birth Care were fabulous, and so is she.
And what about fatherhood? Do you love it?
Oh, can't you tell?
Yeah, I can tell. Look, you're completely besotted, as you should be.
Yeah, she's special, very special.
Yeah. Gives you a new outlook on life, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I could stop work tomorrow and just...
Oh, don't tell him that. She's
No.
gorgeous. Hey, thank you very much for coming in.
No problem.
Time now to cross over to the kitchen where Greg's working his magic on a tasty leg of lamb.
We're Kiwis. Roast leg of lamb is part of our heritage. It doesn't mean I can't do it with a bit of a twist, and that's what I'm going to do this evening. We're going to take a quality mark roast leg of lamb. It's tender and lean. We're going to fill it with some of Greg's stuffing mixture, and we're going to use an apricot and almond flavoured one, and then serve it with some Gravox roast gravy sauce. The first thing I have to do is to make the stuffing mix. Now, I've got 2 cups in here, and it's 2/3 of a cup of water per cup of mix. Mix that through, and I've got some chopped olives here as well. You don't have to use the olives, I just kind of like that taste. So I'm going to put those in. They're optional. Now we take our leg of lamb. Now I've had this tunnel boned. Now I go to my butcher and I say to him, I'd like to have my roast leg of lamb tunnel boned, please. And what they do is they take out the bone, the leg bone and the H bone as they call it, in here, but they leave it whole. And that leaves a cavity which is just absolutely perfect to stuff. So ask them for it tunnel boned. All those butchers out there will be cursing me, I suppose. And you have that lovely cavity in here, and that's where we're going to put the stuffing mix itself. So that just goes straight into that natural cavity. I'm not going to need all the stuffing mix. And just get it nicely packed in. Now, once you've done that, of course, during the roasting process, the flavours of almond and apricot will permeate through the meat as it cooks. And that's the beauty of these flavoured stuffing mixes. And we just want to tie in those ends. So, piece of string, quick turn that way, and that holds each end in. Flick it over, and a tie. Now, a handy little hint is, you know, if you haven't got that extra finger to pop down in here, tie it if it doesn't hold, turn it again, pull if it doesn't hold, do it once more until it holds on its own. And then you don't need that extra finger. The kids are watching TV, you know. That can go like that. Snip that off. And the last thing I want to do here, or the next thing I want to do here, is I'm going to put a little bit of spice rub in. And I love to use these spices. We're going to use some of Greg's cumin spice, some paprika, a little bit of garlic, and some olive oil. A little bit of lemon zest just gives it a nice tang. That can go in there as well. And we'll use the juice too. In a lot of dishes, lemon juice actually brings the flavour out, the natural flavour out. It's the acid in the juice. Some garlic and olive oil. Once it's all together, we mix it all together until we have this nice sort of pasty mixture. And you can smell already the lemon juice coming out. And that combines very well with the spice, the cumin, and the paprika which I put in there. If you're not keen on garlic, cut the garlic back. There's only one way to do this, I'm afraid. These things are the best thing to do it with. We need to rub that spice mixture all over the actual roast itself. and rub it in, work it in a wee bit so that the flavours get in through that top layer. Once that's done, we can grind over a little bit of milled pepper, a little bit of salt, and it's ready to place in the preheated oven. While the lamb is roasting, we'll finish off the gravy. I'm going to just add in a little bit of whole grain mustard and some of Greg's dried mint, and we'll just stir that through and bring it to a very slow simmer. I wish you could smell this. The spices and the garlic have come through, the natural, beautiful lamb flavours, and there we have it. Look at that. I've put in some roast vegetables, some roast onion, kumara, potato, pumpkin. What more can we ask for? If you'd like a copy of the recipe, it's in this week's issue of the New Zealand Women's Weekly.
Thanks, Greg. And coming up, work continues around the house. Join Jeanette and Louise as they talk colours and finishing touches for the bathroom.